Hi, welcome to the new section Revit User Interface and Basics. In this particular lecture, let's get into home screen. First of all, I'll launch the Revit software. For that, I'll go to the Start and I'll click on the Revit 2025 software. Now the software is opening. It may take some time to launch the software. It depends upon the version of the software and performance of the computer. Now when I launch the software, it ends up with this screen. Now this screen is called as home screen, or else we can say this as recent file screen. In the home screen, if you focus on the left hand side, it says this is Revit 2025. And here I have two major headings. One is the models, the other one is the families. Let's get into the families. What is families? We already know. We develop the BIM models with elements such as column, furniture, walls, doors and windows and so on. These have families. Now if you want to open a family, you can click this button. If you want to create a new family, you can click this button. Same fashion, here we have models. Models means using these families we are creating a model. For example, a project, a building project. A building project is built by many elements, many families. If you want to open a project, you can click this open button. Or if you want to create a new model or new project, you can click this button. Anyhow, recently opened files will be displayed here. Very simply, you can click over here and open the recently worked out projects. If you don't find recent files here, just check here. The recent is clicked. If something else is selected, for example Autodesk projects, then you'll not be able to see the recent files. In that case, you can click this recent, then you'll be able to find the recent files. And further, in Revit 2025, here you have an option, New Revit Home. And if you click this button, it switches back to the normal view. That is the recent file screen, model is separated and families are separated. And if you click this new home view, and here you have some more options. For example, you can switch to list view or else you can go to grid view. Now let's open a new model or new project. If I go to model, I'll click this new button and it is opening a dialog box. In this dialog box, we are starting our work with a template file. We'll discuss about the template file in great detail little later in this course. But for the time being, if I drop down here, I have two major templates, Imperial multidiscipline, Metric multidiscipline. So Imperial means feet and inches, Metric means millimeter. For example, if I want to work with feet and inches, I'll select this template. The create new project is selected and I can hit OK button. That will take me to the main user interface of the Revit software. Anyhow, we'll discuss about the main user interface little later. And here in the right upper corner we have a close button. This close button is the close button for the application. If I click here, the complete application will be closed. And if I come here, I have a close button. If I close here, I can close the particular project that I opened. Now I have a main user interface and this is my home screen. And if I want to see the main user interface, very simple. I have a button here. This button is called as home button. I can click this home button that will take me to the main user interface. But in the main user interface, here we have a ribbon and all the tools here are grayed out. Because I have not opened a particular project. Without opening a project, if I open the main user interface, all the tools are grayed out. Now if I click again the home button, it is switching between the home screen and the main user interface. You can also press Ctrl D for that. If I press Ctrl D, you can switch between the main user interface and recent file screen or home screen. Again, I'll create a new project. I'll click this new button and in this dialog box, I'll select Imperial multidiscipline and I'll hit OK here. Now when the project is open, now you can find all the tools are active. It is not grayed out. Now if I press Ctrl D, I can switch between the home screen and the main user interface. You can also use this button. You can click here to switch between the main user interface and home screen. Main user interface and home screen. I'll close this project. So that will take me to the home screen. And here again I'll say Ctrl D And here I can go to the File tab, and here I can find some basic thing. For example, creating a new project or opening a file and save a file or exporting the file types and so on. I'll click Home button to come back to the home screen. Now in the recent file screen or in the home screen, you can also find some sample projects. And here you can find sample architectural project, sample electrical, sample structural. So if you want to open these things, simply you can click on it. I'm going to click on the sample architectural project. See, it is launching. I'll continue here. Now I can navigate within this project. But anyhow, at this level, I'm not going to do anything. Simply I'll close this project. Okay, that's all about the home screen. Let's continue with the next lecture.